what you think his mind state is, do you go to that party and have the respect for 21 to be like, yo, I'm gonna let that nigga be over there and me be over here? We do know one of the last times Drake was in a club with one of his enemies or purported enemies, him and Chris Brown started throwing bottles. Okay, so I don't think that's not gonna happen. But I guess I'm asking y'all, do y'all think that if you're Drake, could you forgive Metro? Right? I'm not saying he did, but I'm saying, could you? I personally think that he can't forgive Kendrick, but I think it's a possibility way in the future he might. I've likened it to the Meek stuff. I think Drake had a pretty unblemished music career until Meek blemished it. And I don't care what he said afterwards. It's not like you can retract that stench or that rumor that you put on someone. And yes, I get that the rumor that Kendrick said is way worse. Like somebody calling you a PDF file is way worse than someone saying you don't write your raps. But I don't think Drake ain't getting locked up for nothing. Like he's actually not. It's like somebody just saying that we beat you up and they didn't beat you up. Even though clearly it makes you look creepy. I get it. Drake's musical, it was like Meek added an asterisk to Drake's musical achievements. I think ultimately with this battle with Kendrick, even if you believe Kendrick won, I don't think him calling Drake a PDF file matters at all. Unless some weird shit come out about Drake, right? But we're moving on the assumption that it won't. So that doesn't really matter as much, even though I could understand being more upset at that, because as a man, that's just something you don't want people to kind of say about you. So if you ask me, I believe that Drake and Kendrick, I think they shouldn't make up ever. There's a strategic reason why Drake and Meek had to make up at some point. You know, because the wise man told me, if nobody finna die about this beef, eventually somebody gonna have to squash it, right? And Drake was moving around with a lot of niggas who was also cool with Meek, and it becomes this weird, you gotta be moving a certain way, and if one goes, the other can't go. It became a really odd situation, and a lot of people were in the middle, right? You gotta remember, Future's in the middle. You have all these like middle order guys who are like pretty much street dudes, and Drake was hanging with the street dudes. Like it was causing like, all right, we got to pick which one we're going to hang out with for the day. That's why I think strategically that got patched up. When it comes to Kendrick, there's nothing that they need to move around, do together. It's like Kendrick is like fucking Ghost. He doesn't go nowhere. And respectfully, like he's not all over the place. So it doesn't threaten Drake's existence or Drake moving around. So there is no real upside for him to patch it up with Kendrick. Right? Now, will he patch it up with Metro? I think the most egregious thing with Metro is does Drake internalize? Does he internalize that everything that's happened up to and including the beef and the battle with Kendrick, does he blame that on Metro for Metro basically starting the 20v1? If that's the case, maybe, and again, it's all relative to Drake's success. If Drake is, even gets to another peak of hotness, pause, in a year or two, you can forgive anybody. Because, listen, when you're number one, you can forgive the loser, right? Like, you could forgive Meek Mill for snitching on you or lie snitching about you when you beat his ass in a battle. You don't forgive the nigga who beat your ass or who set up for you to get jumped until you get your get back, right? So we'll see if he gets cool with these guys. But I do think this thug tweet is related to that.